So, guys, the moment Canada hits brakes on Canadian immigration numbers, the alarm bells have gone ringing because the population growth of Canada has almost hit zero. The latest report from Statistics Canada here just says that the Canadian population growth was zero, which means lesser tax collection in the future, which will be equal to lesser contribution towards free medical that we have in Canada, the pension plan, employment insurance, and all the tax money that will be collected. How will that be collected if the population growth is zero? And in fact, on a negative trend, because the birth rate minus the death rate in Canada is actually on a negative trend. Guys, in this video today, we will take a deeper look at this particular report published by Statistics Canada. If you are interested in Canadian immigration, I'm sure you would want to watch this video till the end. My name is Sahil. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sahil, and if you're here for the first time, I highly recommend you subscribing to the channel because we talk a lot about Canadian immigration. And also, if you haven't followed us on social media yet, please do consider subscribing to our social media channels. We will be talking about Canadian immigration all the time. So, guys, we are discussing the latest report that has been published by Statistics Canada. And this particular report, as you can see on the screen, just clearly says that the growth of Canadian population in the first quarter of 2025 was near zero. The 0.0% quarterly change is very surprising and very alarming at the same time, because at the end of the day, population growth really means more tax collection, also more available population to work, basically support resources required for a country to function normally. If there are lesser tax collection, if there is lesser money that is being collected, that means there will be lesser availability of funds for future payment of bills, free medical in Canada, CPP, the Canadian pension plan, the employment insurance, and all such benefits that you get in Canada. Overall, population growth is very important, and we all know that Japan as one country is struggling with it, and no country would ever be able to flourish if the population growth was zero, because at any given point in time, the ongoing population is always aging population. And if you're not able to give birth to more children than the number of deaths in a particular country, then the trend is even further alarming. First, let's just look at the trend as of today. So they say that the current Canadian population is sitting at 41.5 million, and this was the smallest quarterly growth since the third quarter of 2020, which is rolling back to pre-COVID era, when the population was decreased by 1,200 people. That was almost again 0.0% in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. Guys, overall, if you look at this particular growth or this particular trend, it says that the number of natural increase, which is the births minus the deaths, was hitting a negative 5,628, which clearly shows that if total output of population naturally within Canada, based on Canadian permanent residents and citizens, would be minus 5,600, out of which I'm sure there would be some temporary residents also who would be giving birth to Canadian citizen children, because Canada does give birth by citizenship. All of those put together in context gave minus 5,500 people. Then the rest of the population should have been contributed by immigrants, the young population, people who are able to bring skills, money, because they're investors or they're international students and contribute to the local economy by working as work permit holders. But that also apparently has a lot of important information. If you look at the population by provinces, NFL had a drop of almost 115 people. Quebec had minus 1,000 people. And Ontario had minus 5,000 people. So maximum loss was with Ontario. BC minus 2,500. Yukon was minus 15 people. And then overall, if you look at the number of work permit holders, because this is a population count for even work permit holders, and basically the non-permanent resident, the population in Canada as well. This says that overall, In the month of October 2024, the census calculation said in October 2024 there was about 3 million people, which has dropped to almost 2.95 million, which is a drop of approximately 60,000 people who've left the country. This is particularly the reason why we say that a lot of people are losing their statuses in Canada. They've actually decided to leave the country. Hence, not the non-permanent population has dropped by 61,000 people. Now, this could also mean that a couple of people would have transformed from being non-permanent to permanent residents as well. But apparently, the growth of permanent residents within the country is also on an all-time drop. If you look at this particular number here, the number of people who gained a permanent residence in the country, the first quarter here, this was the first quarter of 2024, approximately the net international migration was about 2.59 million. This was the overall as per that particular quarter, which dropped to 25,000. So almost 104,000 immigrants net. And this particular report here also talks about um, Canada admitted only 104,000 immigrants in the first quarter of 2025. Okay. And this was the smallest number admitted in the first quarter in the 4 years. So, again, the lowest number of immigrants ever converted into PR in the last 4 years. However, prior to 2022, Canada had never welcomed more than 86,000 immigrants in the first quarter. So, overall, guys, the reason of this particular, so there is one more important reason in the hindsight that says that Canada had the baby boomer population, which means after the World War there were lesser number of people. So there was a spike in the number of people born or the number of children born, and then the blue pill was invented, and then there was a sharp drop for an entire decade, which caused the baby boomer population to now retire. So we have a lot of baby boomers which are now retiring. So there is a big gap of working population in Canada, and this particular population problem is very very serious, more serious than people actually understand. Coming 10 years are going to be very important because these baby boomers will be retiring, and who else will be there to contribute towards the tax dollars? There will be a sharp drop in that numbers, and that is when IRCC has to do a good job in bringing in population that can contribute in terms of the working population and the tax dollars both. Although Mark Carney does have investment plans in terms of investing the tax money towards higher returns in the future, but overall, if you look at the national post, there was this another post. It says Makani can't be trusted to get immigration under control. This was published on March 29th. This is obviously around the election time. But overall, increasing Canada's population could be response to US tariffs. This is as per April 9th. Now, there is always, like I said, conflicting information available. Mark Carney said that as per the new plan of the Liberal government, because this was an important agenda that they utilized in terms of getting their votes for this particular electoral season. They did say that we want to bring the non-permanent or the permanent resident population under a lot of control. They want to hit numbers which are lower than 5%. If I remember, it was about 5% or 2%, something like that. I will double check the numbers. But yes, they did have a very strict regime of bringing down the number of international students, bringing down the number of foreign workers, and also bringing down the number of newer permanent residents who would be admitted to Canada. In light of the future plans, this particular plan or this particular output is already hurting Canada. How bad is this going to be? We will wait for an official report, but we obviously know under common sense that if Canadian population drops to a near zero, then who else will contribute to the Canadian economy earning money? We're already hitting recession. We are already being affected by our broken relationship with US. The tariff is on an all time high, and if within Canada there is lesser amount of working population, then who else is going to contribute towards the pension funds, the medicals, the free medical, the free education, and all of that? Guys, it is food for thought. It is important for IRCC to have the right balance in terms of having the population growth and limited or controlled immigration. Guys, I hope the information today was helpful and insightful, gave you insights into what's happening in the population control, demographic control of Canada. Please do consider subscribing to our channel. Thanks for viewing our video today. Please do consider subscribing to our other social media handles as well. We do share insights into Canadian immigration all the time. We wish you all the best and we really hope to see you soon in Canada. All the best.